The dreaded P word has been uttered about many an in-development MMO. So many projects had potential but never fulfilled that potential. What are the primary things that caused MMOs to fail in the past, in my opinion? I would say a lack of funding is a major one, especially for independent developers. MMOs take a massive amount of money to make, and delays can cause a huge problem for independent developers on a tight budget. The next major reason I think many MMOs have failed is probably the biggest one. Huge, mismanaged, misguided corporations have been behind many MMO launches in the last 20 years. The main reason for that is the cost involved with MMO production, of course. It is hard for a truly independent studio to come up with the funding to make an MMO. Why have mega corporations failed so often in making a good MMO? To me, the main reason is they lack the same spirit that independent devs have. Developers for a corporate conglomerate end up being cogs in a machine. Good ideas die before they get to the decision maker's desk. Large corporations are afraid of trying new things and taking risks. Instead, status quo becomes the de facto stance. This is why we have seen so many cookie-cutter MMOs over the years. Outside of the different aesthetics, in some cases, it has been hard to distinguish one MMO from the next. Now, I'm not saying corporations can't make a good MMO. It's just been kind of rare in the last 20 years. If you make the same game as one that has already established itself, you are setting yourself up for failure because it is so hard to build a game that is more polished and feature-rich than a game that has been around for 10 years or more already. Some concepts can be copied, of course, but copying the entire formula has proven to not work in many cases. On the other end of the spectrum, independent developers are not afraid to take risks, try new things, and tend to be overflowing with passion. Sometimes these developers go too far with being different, so much so that they make a game that is too niche to be a viable MMO. MMOs need a healthy population to survive. If you make too niche a product, you set yourself up for failure. Independent developers also tend to struggle with marketing. Marketing, I think, is an underrated aspect of game development. I've seen a lot of independent games that never got the attention they deserved, largely due to a lack of marketing. When I look at Intrepid Studios and Ashes of Creation, I see a developer that has a near perfect combination of being well-funded and independent. Probably the main problem most independent devs have is a lack of funding. With Intrepid, that is not a concern. They are trying some new original ideas with the node system, but they are not going so far away from other established MMO models either. Remove the node system, and this is very similar to ArcAge, but modernized and without pay to win. I truly believe if ArcAge had a better monetization system and a better in-game loop, it would be near the top of the MMO food chain currently. So I think the ArcAge model can work and is not too niche, as long as it is tweaked appropriately. And from what I have seen from Intrepid, I think that is exactly what they have done. Taken a concept that was sound but needed tweaked, and added a major new feature with the node system. I know some think this game could end up being too niche, but hopefully testing will reveal areas that might need to be tweaked in that regard. And what about marketing, another thing that has hurt independent developers in the past? So far, I don't think that has been an issue because of the hype that Steven has built up around this project. Going on major streamer podcasts and being extremely engaged with the production of his game has been huge. I know some think this project is overhyped and that could spell doom for this project. And to some extent, I think maybe that is true, but there's no doubt that hype is a tremendous marketing tool, and I personally would rather see this project be overhyped than underhyped. Overhyped at least gives it a chance to succeed. Underhyped might mean it might never get enough players to sustain itself. Hype is not always automatically a bad thing. So Intrepid has the perfect combination, well-funded and independent. They are not making a cookie-cutter MMO, but it is not a complete shift from models that have worked in the past either. It is well marketed via the hype surrounding it. The team is incredibly passionate, which shows in the monthly live streams. They won't have to rush this game out the door before it is ready, although it can't stay in development forever, obviously, as the money will eventually run out. But there are no corporate overlords to demand a strict launch timeline despite the game not being launch ready. I'm excited for Ashes, and I think it can be my new MMO home. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. With that, I will see you in the next video.